Okay. Next. Like the videos are not audible in the slide. Um, I'll just explain what's there in the video. So this video explains how what are all the different sectors are there of Salesforce technology, and as a technology what it offers to the world, and what are all the things that we can implement in this. So moving ahead in this slide, I can explain that better. So Salesforce is basically a platform that can be used by customers, that can be used by the partners, that means your business partners, and that can be used by the employees. Now, what are all the things that we can do in Salesforce? If Salesforce as a product, Salesforce is basically a product that has some pre-configured things that you can utilize for your purpose, and you can tweak them, you can modify them as per your needs. So that's what is counted under the admins. So any admin or any person who can manage that application based on the needs is called an admin. And for that, he need not to write any code, or any kind of customization is not required. Now, let's say your business needs are not getting fulfilled with what is by default offered by the product. So Salesforce offers an app exchange library. So this is like you have a Google Play Store in Android. Similarly, you have app exchange in Salesforce. So Salesforce has built, and many other companies build their applications for various purposes, and they upload it there. You can download it and you can use them in your own environment, on Salesforce environment. And let's say if that also doesn't work for you, okay, then you have Lightning app builders, which you can utilize to build your own applications for your own environment. But those applications will be only applicable to your environments, but they will fulfill all the needs that are required for your business. And Salesforce allows Lightning community builders. Using this, you might have to write a little bit of code, but you'll get an environment. You can modify your environment in the terms that the customer and the employees of your firm, they can connect with each other. They can share all the views or all the deals that they have. They can interact with each other in that, and just to maintain the proper transparency between your business and the customer. Salesforce also offers Salesforce DX and Heroku. So these are few core development areas of Salesforce which requires the development technologies that have. Heroku is comes into the play when you want to build some generic APIs or generic utilities that you want to use with any other technology. So let's say there is a system that is built in another technology, and you want that to be integrated to Salesforce, but you don't have appropriate APIs for that. So those APIs are something, those utilities are something that you can build in Heroku. Then finally comes the developer part. So all the developers can be engaged into Salesforce in writing the business logic. So let's say all these things, the admins, App Exchange, Lightning App Builders, these things don't suffice to the business needs. Those are very much complex. So to enhance or to overcome those complexity of those business logics, you can write those business logics in the form of code. In Salesforce, you can write the codes as you write in Java. You can build a UI as you build using HTML. You can you can build any kind of website in Salesforce, provided that's an e-commerce based website or it is a community based website. So all these things are enabled and are offered by Salesforce. So in building all these things comes the role of developers. Now moving forward to how you build an app if you want to in Salesforce. Now, this is a pathway of the industrial perspective application development, how the things happen in industry. And in case of Salesforce, how the things are different from the traditional way. Now, the first thing, you meet with the customer and you meet with the IT team. Okay, you gather the requirements, you finalize all the requirements, all the business needs that are there. Now, once the business needs are finalized, you build a project plan. So project plan is built to map those business needs with the technical implementations that we are going to do. Now, though, once the technical implementations are finalized, we have to secure the developer, because once we are sure that these are all the different areas of the technical implementations, we need to find the appropriate skill set. Once we have the skill set, then we procure the infrastructure. Now, here comes the difference. The procuring infrastructure in case of other technologies is a bit different, because in other technologies, you might need servers, you might need a different programming language, you might need resources that have a particular experience in different APIs or different frameworks. But in case of Salesforce, all you need is an environment that is issued by Salesforce, and those environments are paid environments. We need to get a license, and this is something where comes the discussion between the business and the client, so that I mean the development team and the client, so that we get to know that what based on the client's requirement, we get to finalize what are all the licenses that we need to take, how much does the client needs to pay for it, because Salesforce being a cloud computing based thing is a paid offering. We do have licenses for this. And once we are done with the infrastructure procurement, development process and everything, we do the final development. Once the developments are done, we validate and we verify that the final product that we have built is in compliance with the securities and the policies that have been imposed by the client. Once everything is done, the normal starts. That is QA and UA testing and the application deployment. Now, there are a few more differences between the traditional technologies and Salesforce when it comes to the time management. So in traditional technologies, most of the time you spend in infrastructure procurement. So most of your time is spent in gathering or procuring the infrastructure to build your application. And a slightly less time is invested in operations. That means operating or the maintenance of that infrastructure. And the least time is you spend on the application development. However, in Salesforce, it's the exact reverse. Most of the time is spent in the application development part, since the operations and infrastructure is quite flexible and it's quite easy in Salesforce. Infrastructure, on the name of infrastructure, you don't have anything. You just have to procure the Salesforce environments, and those are hosted and maintained by Salesforce. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to pay them for doing that. And the operations are something that, I mean, for that you need to hire the admins, so that they can have a proper understanding of the application, and they can maintain and operate that application. As and when you face problems, they can interact with the Salesforce. And most of the time is invested on application development, because that's the most crucial and most time taking part in Salesforce, because that's where all the business logics are implemented. So as I mentioned earlier, Salesforce releases three major releases every year. These are technical releases plus business releases. And with every release comes some enhancement in the existing product or some new functionality in the existing product. So from 2004 till 2020, we have these many releases. Each release is signified by a different icon. That's how Salesforce does the marketing of its application. That's how Salesforce, displays the things. They have different icons for every release, and each icon is signifying some different part of the application being implemented. Now, Salesforce works on the concept of partners and customers. Partners are the ones that are working with Salesforce or that have rights to implement Salesforce as a technology. That have the rights to work on the product development of the Salesforce. And customers are the ones that use them. So customers are the ones that have to buy license to procure the environment, and partners are the ones that are certified to work on those applications, those environments to implement the business needs as provided by the customers to fulfill their business requirements. Now, these are the few partners of the Salesforce, and there is a different hierarchy. We have based on the number of people, number of certified people each company has. So Salesforce categorizes its partner based on silver license, silver partner, gold partner, platinum partner, and few of the companies are the global partners with Salesforce, like Wipro, Accenture, TCS, Cognizant, Deloitte, PwC. These are few global partners of Salesforce. So they have all the rights and they have the maximum strength of Salesforce certified people. Now comes the question, why is Salesforce? So the answer to this question is as simple as that. When you can have everything, every aspect, when you can cover every aspect of your business requirement with just one product, then why to go for any other? You can implement sales solutions, you can implement service solution, marketing solutions, you can do the analytics of client data, you can build your own technical apps, you can build your own community, you can do everything you want to enhance your client's business. Then why to choose any other application than Salesforce? These are few use cases of Salesforce. Salesforce can be integrated with Google services, Twitter, Amazon Web Services, Facebook, and we can implement various kind of business use cases, like we can build corporate systems, we can build HR systems, we can build financial services, call center and phone systems, and we can also migrate the legacy systems to the Salesforce. These are few use cases. There are many more that can be implemented using Salesforce. Now, the problem that that Salesforce employers are facing basically is that for any other technology, they there are a lot of resources into the market, but for Salesforce, we need certified resources. Only the resources that have an experience or a decent knowledge of working in Salesforce, they know the aspects of Salesforce. To uh, to certify this, Salesforce runs its own university. There is a Salesforce.com university where you can go through all the technical stuff related to Salesforce. You can learn about Salesforce, and not just Salesforce as a whole. Salesforce is a very huge technology which has a lot of aspects, uh, which works on different clouds. When it comes to cloud computing, most of the technologies just offer a single type of cloud, but Salesforce also offers a variety of clouds. We have marketing cloud, commerce cloud, service cloud, sales cloud, and we have different types of clouds in Salesforce, community clouds, and every aspect or every type of cloud has a different expertise, different level of skills. So it Salesforce offers a lot of scattered, I would say, and the scattered areas are there in which you can get your expertise into, and you can get certified from Salesforce. Once you get certified, then the employers also have an credibility that yes, this person is certified and he knows everything about the skill set that he is certified in, and that is stamped by Salesforce. So it's for all the recent graduates that if you want to seek a career in Salesforce, have yourself registered with Salesforce, go through the study materials that is provided by them. Everything related to Salesforce is online. Nothing is paid, and that there is nothing like for certifications or for something you'll have to go through some other path. You have to do a certain kind of study. It's not like that. You have everything online with the Salesforce repositories, Salesforce libraries. You can go there, go through each and every aspect, learn anything you want, and build your skill set in any area that you want that is related to Salesforce, and you can get certified in that. And your level of education doesn't matter at all. These are the different career opportunities that you can have using Salesforce. You can become a Salesforce administrator. So to become an administrator, you need to know about the product, about the product's inbuilt offerings, and how you can tweak or modify those offerings to get the business needs. And you don't need to learn any kind of coding for this. Salesforce developer is the one. When the task is not completed by Salesforce administrator, then there are few things that needs to be implemented via code. And when you have to do coding around Salesforce, there comes the role of Salesforce developer. Now comes the Salesforce architect. That is the advanced level of Salesforce admin, Salesforce developer. That technical architect needs to have a knowledge of each and every technical aspect of Salesforce. Even if you are a business analyst, you can utilize your knowledge in Salesforce. There are various areas of Salesforce that are offered to sales and marketing teams, and that can be utilized by the business analysts. If you're a marketing manager or you seek to have a career in marketing, then you can go for Salesforce. There is a whole different cloud, marketing cloud in Salesforce, and that's in a huge demand because it was recently introduced and it is very limited. Where there are few people in this world who are aware and who have the knowledge of working in marketing cloud. So this is also a very emerging thing, and if you want to seek a career in this, you can have the proper knowledge of marketing cloud in Salesforce. If you're a sales manager, then definitely you do have a career in Salesforce because the meaning of Salesforce is sales and marketing. So these two areas are where Salesforce really shines. This is just an estimate of how much people working in Salesforce or various areas of Salesforce earn. So Salesforce is amongst the highest paid technologies in the world as of now. Okay, so we have covered how Salesforce is as a technology, what Salesforce as a company is. Now, what if I want to learn a particular skill in Salesforce, and how can I do that? So it's a very simple way ahead. There is a website called trailhead.salesforce.com. I'll demonstrate everything after this once I'm done with the slides. So you can get yourself registered there. And once you are registered, if the best thing is even if you are a student, you can register there. Even if you are a professional, you can register there. There is no limitation on what your career path is, how much your education level is. It doesn't matter at all. You can get yourself registered. You can start your learning then and there. This is how the trailhead looks. So we have different modules related to each and every aspect of Salesforce. You can go through each and every of them. You can complete them, learn them. For each completion, you are awarded a badge. And once you move ahead, once you increase your level of skill set, you get awarded with different batches and with different there are different categorizations that define at what level of education or what level of skill set you are, and based on that you can move ahead with your certifications and you can signify that this is how much knowledge I have and this is what my expertise my expertise lies in. This is the skill set that I have. These are the different things which are offered by Salesforce Trailhead. When you start your Scout, when you have earned different badges, then your level of expertise increases. You become hiker, explorer, adventurer, and once you have 100 plus badges, then you're a ranger. That means you have a significant amount of learning on the Salesforce platform. Now comes the Salesforce certification path. So as I mentioned, Salesforce offers different certifications in different areas. This is the a pyramid of Salesforce certifications. So you can have your certifications as community cloud consultants. If you want to become a service cloud consultant, you can. a sales cloud consultant. You can have your certifications as a developer, as an admin. You can have your certifications in various designer level exams, which are kind of architectural and designer level exams. And there are different paths. If you go by this path, you become a system architect. If you go by this path, you become an application architect. And once you have the entire knowledge of the Salesforce environment or the Salesforce as a platform, you can apply for the technical architects. And these are the certifications for which you have to give exams. So once you start your learning on the Trailhead, you go through various modules. You complete your module level exams, which are not paid. Those are free of cost, and they signifies how much expertise you have in that module. Once you clear them and you move ahead in your journey, you can have the Salesforce organized exams. These are all Salesforce organized exams, and with each level of exam you clear, you move ahead up in the ladder. And once you have all these certifications, then you can apply for application architect certifications, system architect certifications, and technical architect certifications. And all these certifications, to be noted, are paid certifications, and they do hold a big value when you apply for job, when you search for a job, and when you try to persuade a business client that I want to work for you, I want to build an application for you. These certifications play a huge role there. So I'll just give you a small definition of how to use the Trailhead. I have already registered there. I have a Trailhead. These are different modules that are offered in web components. This is again one of the technology offered by Salesforce. It is a mixture of your HTML, your JavaScript, and the normal programming that you do. So you can the business things. You can learn about the admin stuff. You can enhance your level from beginner, intermediate to advanced. You can learn about the Salesforce platform. You can learn about things. You can have your supervisors, you can have your certifications, everything that you want to do, you can do in the Trailhead. And if I speak about the languages that are used in Salesforce, so Salesforce is built on Java. It is implemented, the base architecture of Salesforce is built on Java. So most of the things that we follow are related to the object-oriented programming. All the approaches that we take is based on object-oriented programming. The language that we use is Apex, and this is very much similar to Java. Few of the changes, and the language that we use to build up the UI is Visual Force and Lightning components. So Visual Force is pretty much similar to HTML, but has a different framework, has different tags that we need to use. And similarly, nowadays, Lightning Web Components has come into play. So Lightning Web Components is mixture of Node.js, your HTML, your JavaScript, and it allows you to integrate any kind of platform, any kind of UI-based platform that you want to integrate with Salesforce, and it allows you to build any kind of application that you want. That's all with the session today. Now we'll move it to the Q&A session. If anyone has any doubts related to it, related to the session, related to any section, we can go to the questions. Let us know. Um,
Hello?
yes.
Rohit, am I audible?
Sir, you're audible.
Yeah. There's one question from one of the participants that is there any free course available in Salesforce through which he can start his career in Salesforce?
Yeah, so the things that I explained about Trailhead, this is free of cost. You don't have to pay anything for this. You can simply create your account here. You can log in, you start learning different modules. It's not that you'll be getting confused about the
Okay,
modules which
the one you sent trailhead
yeah,
dot salesforce.com.
trailhead.salesforce.com.
This one.
Yeah, this is the link. You can get yourself registered here. You
Yeah.
can start learning by creating your account, and there are different trails. When you go to learn, there are different trails here. These
Sir, your voice is not audible. Some disturbance is there.
this is admin, uh, total developers.
Hello?
Is it audible now?
Yeah, it's audible. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Rohit, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So we have you can register anytime and start learning. But yes, the certifications are paid. Certifications are not free of cost. But you do have a privilege that Salesforce organizes various events throughout the year in different cities. Sometimes they are online, sometimes they are offline. You can participate in those. You can participate in Salesforce developer communities, and you can visit those events. When you visit those events, you get a chance to meet different people who are working in Salesforce, and sometimes Salesforce distributes the examination vouchers also, so you can utilize them to get yourself certified for free of cost.
Somebody is raising the issue that how much money we need to spend for certification and how to apply for certification.
When you want to apply, trail link created and your developer or created, which is when you start registering yourself in trailhead.salesforce.com, you get two options.
Yeah.
You get where you get the learning material and you get a Salesforce org also.
Okay.
It's two.
Sahil, just pay attention. Sahil Mishra.
You can register for your certification. $100 and it reaches up to $400. After every module you have to take an assessment. This assessment is sometimes just a questionnaire where you get to answer multiple choice questions, and in some cases it is also the actual implementation of code. So you have to complete a code, submit your assessment, and you get points for that. You also do the practical, and that's why Salesforce is I would say more preferable to learn and more easy to learn, because you don't only get to learn the theory but you also get to learn the practical aspects.
Sahil, is your question clear? Sahil, just type in chat box. Is the question clear? The answer being taken by the speaker.
Okay, here he has written yes. Okay, any other question?
Anybody else who wants to ask the question, they can ask. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Vishwas Gautam sir to conclude the session.
Thank you, Rohit. It was very enlightening session and very kind of you to take out time for the students. We wish you all the very best for your future. You are doing wonderful. We are proud of you that you are part of MIT and you are taking the brand MIT further. And it will be a matter of pride for all the students and faculty members who are part of MIT as well. We wish to be connected with you in future for other various topics that you seem relevant that you should share with your juniors and with your esteemed faculty members. Thank you again for your time and thanks a lot.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
So with this, Ayush, can we conclude the event today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Rohit, for your time. Thank you, Ayush. Thank you, Naveen, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all the participants for taking your time out.